Hello and welcome to our live demo of our scheduler job application. Our team is the Eclipse Gators, which consists of Gustavo, Valerie, Timothy, and Daniel. And now we will be proceeding to our project walkthrough. So this is our main login for the scheduler application. Here the user can sign in as a returning user if they already have an account, or sign up as a new user, whether they take on a manager role or an employee role. So here I will be showing a manager who already has an account. I'm going to log in here. And once I log in, then I met with the manager dashboard. So here in the manager dashboard, we have a few tabs here, and I'm going to go through each and show the information that should be displayed on each. So first we have the main dashboard, which has a few widgets here. We have the clock widget, a monthly calendar that shows today's date, which is November 30th. Today's staff count, which is 3 employees that we have scheduled to work today. The schedule quick view, which shows the start and end time for every employee that'll be working today, and any pending requests from any employees. Moving on to the profile tab, it shows basic information for the user that's currently logged in. So currently I'm logged in as the manager named Selena. So here you'll see her name, her email address, and the organization ID that she is assigned to displayed here. And here in the schedule tab, we have a weekly view of every shift that is scheduled between the Sunday and Saturday of each week. So as you saw in the dashboard tab, we have 3 employees scheduled to work Saturday, November 30th. And as you can see, we have their shifts displayed here on the table. And finally, in the roster tab, it will show the employee data for everyone that is working on the current day. So on the roster, we have the 3 employees that were scheduled. Here we can see their name, the email address assigned to them, and their employee ID. And all of these employees are within the same organization that Selena manages, so they will all be displayed here. And when I hit the logout button, it will take me back to the main sign-in page, and Gus will show us the sign-in portion or the sign-up portion and how the dashboard will look from the employee's perspective.
Thank you, Valerie. I'm going to go over the employee dashboard side of the project. Here, I'm going to go over the registration portion specifically, where we register as an employee. Now, we need the org ID of an established organization, and this is usually created by an admin, just to control who's registering or which organizations are registering. So here, I'm just going to do like a test employee, so test one. I'm going to do test at and then do a new password here. So when we register, it gives us a notification. It takes us back to the sign-in page, and then if we check our database here, it should show this new employee. Let's refresh. So it should be here. That's one. Now, this is our cloud database. This is hosted on MongoDB's server on a cloud database. And so then we go into our project here and try to log in with a pre-made employee that already has shift data, just so we can mess around with project. So we hit sign in, and this generates a session token that is used across calls to the front and the back end, just so this is done securely, and also so an employee can't log into a different person's dashboard without being prompted to log in. If that were to happen, the session token will be decoded and match the employee trying to access uh, the other employee's dashboard and see if that's the same employee. If not, it's going to ask them to sign in. Here, an employee gets an initial glance of their week with their shift information, if they have any. On the profile, they see their employee information with an update with information how to update that. On their schedule, they see their current schedule with a running time indicator here. So this person has a shift that started at 6 and it's currently past that, as denoted by the running line. If you click on a shift, you're able to see more information such as the start time, the end time, and the shift ID. This is important because a person can use this to shift trade. So if I'm shift trading with someone else, I would either give them this shift ID or they can give me theirs. And then I can use this to do a shift trade. And I can show you that here under our requests. So if an employee wants to do a shift trade, we need my ID for the shift and then their ID for that shift, and then the request and submit the request here. This loads the shift information with the name of my shift and then the shift trade for it, and this generates a request on the back end, and then this populates on the manager dashboard where they can approve this request or deny depending on if it matches or fits within the schedule. And we can check that here under employee requests, and we can see this request pop up. Same thing for time off requests. Let's say I want to submit a request to get, let's say Monday off here. And I want to do it just for that day. It's gonna blank out any dates that aren't past what the initial start date was. So see how Sunday is now blocked off. So I can only pick Monday and beyond. Same thing when you click the start date, I can only pick dates past today. So I want to pick Monday, and I just want that Monday off. Submit that request. Now we go over to our backend. It's going to show this request here. There it is. Under timesheet, this shows the user's current timesheet and the hours they worked. I believe we were messing with the timesheet data here. So as you can see, this person has 2 shifts that they missed. And we can check that here. So for the so we can see here they have 2 shifts that they missed. But this is the shift that they're currently scheduled for. They just haven't clocked in for it. So currently there's no data for that. So as of right now, they haven't worked the shift. So if they were to clock in for this current shift, that information should update. So I clock in here. Now I'm currently clocked in. Go back to our shift information. We should see that punch in information update. And let's say we worked our full shift. It's currently our punch out time. We click on punch out. The shift is completed. And we should see this update on the timesheet side. Now the shift is completed. Because I didn't technically work many hours and it was within a few seconds of clocking in and clocking out, this isn't going to update with the full hours. But if I were to work a full 8-hour shift or a 4-hour shift, this will update with that time. And then I can actually show you that right now by just switching some of this information around. So the 29th here, it would be this shift here. So if I were to switch this punch in and punch out data to the same time frame, I would get that to update. So let's say this person actually did work that full shift on the dot. So as you can see, this if they were to actually work that shift for the full 8 hours for the punch in and punch out information, this would update as well. And this is still keeping that information, it's keeping that state that they've currently already worked their shift, and so they're currently punched out. And so this is going to stay up until the start of their next shift, a few minutes before that, so they can clock in for that. If we go to the log out now, this is going to remove our local session token. So if we go back and check that, it's currently not there. So which means we can't just hit the back button and go back to our dashboard. We're going to be routed back to just log in. So as you can see, we're just being prompted to log in again since the session token is no longer there. So that was our project walkthrough. Now we're going to go over our individual responsibilities. Starting with me, I was working as a full stack developer. I worked on both the front end and the back end. On the front end, I created the employee dashboard, the registration page, the sign-in page. I also assisted with the manager dashboard, and I implemented our front-end security features, such as protected routes for secure access to the dashboard, session tokens, the sign-in and sign-out features that add and remove the local session token. I also did manual testing of our front-end components, just to make sure everything works correctly. On the back end, I worked on deploying the project on Heroku using MongoDB Atlas as our cloud database. I also set up our local database connection for testing. I assisted with creating backend routes to facilitate front shift and employee management, as well as implementing the security on the backend side, which includes securely storing hashed passwords, session token creation and validation, and protected backend routes. So only those who are authenticated are able to call those routes.
I'm Valerie, and I primarily worked on the front end implementations. So I worked to design our initial website mockup and user flow diagrams to help us plan how we wanted to design the overall structure of our website. So the mockup design showed the intended branding, layout, and content of the website, and the user flow diagram showed the path a user will take through the entire site, depending on the role. So if they signed up as either an employee or a manager. And I also helped design a theme that would remain consistent, regardless of whether the user was an employee or a manager. I also assisted with the early designs for our login and registration page, and I primarily implemented the manager dashboard components. These components included the manager dashboard, the profile, the scheduled calendar, and the organization roster. And Gus and I utilized Materials UI and Toolpad for the user experience styling.
I'm Timothy Beavers, and I configured the database by implementing and updating the database models and schemas to satisfy the desired functionality and necessary informational components of the front end. This included adding the organization, sites, and employee requests to the database schema with the necessary attributes and constraints. I was also responsible for implementing the routing functionality, implemented and tested new routing functions for usage with the front ends and Postman, completed routing operations for the associated schema models, such as employee request, and implemented logical and syntactic validation for routes to maintain the database organization and integrity. This includes stuff like ensuring the timeframes are appropriately entered without interfering with other shifts or requests and preventing duplicates.
I'm Daniel, and as the project manager, I focused on maintaining clear communication and organization for our team, arranged regular meetings with our advisor to discuss updates and ensure alignment on project goals. Additionally, I prepared and sent detailed weekly reports, including progress updates and documentation, to keep our advisor informed and provide transparency about our work. On the back end, I implemented punch in and out routes to manage employee shifts, ensuring accurate attendance tracking, I added error handling and validations to prevent issues like duplicate punches and improve efficiency with MongoDB optimization. Thank you.